for, bottles of drinks. Women are expected to be able to dress a particular way and carry, wear a particular hair. And that's putting a lot of pressure on people. Social media is not helping either. People are spending more than they earn. Some people are so indebted now they don't even know how to get out of it, and people are taking loans just to look good. And that's why we're looking at the need for financial intelligence, especially in this age of social media buzz and trending lifestyle. How do you stay financially intelligent? How do you keep your finances together just so you are not in debt? And that's what we're focusing. We told you our conversation this morning is not the usual conversation that's centered around politics or the economy. We're looking at something quite personal for you, and you know that you can call in if you have an experience on this, how you've be able to keep your finances together. You can call in to give us your experience. If you just have any contribution at all, call in and let us know. But do turn down the volume of your TV set just so we can have a smooth conversation. Olamide.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I saw a particular picture with us, a funny capture, and there's someone said there's a particular face you keep when you go to a mall and you see the size of your salary, your monthly salary on a particular shoe.
Exactly.
And you ask yourself, you keep your you're shocked. And the question now comes to your mind is, when you have a particular amount of salary as your income for monthly income, there's a way you plan yourself. You don't overstep your boundary, and that's where financial intelligence comes in place. I don't know how many people still have that mentality of drawing up budgets for themselves.
Exactly.
We're talking about having a national budget. People are saying, no, the Senate has not signed the budget, they've not passed the budget. But we need to understand.
Your own budget?
Have you passed your own budget?
Exactly.
And how are you implementing the budget? How are you seeking to finance your budget? What is your strategy of implementing your budget? Do you have any unnecessary spendings? Do you have any capital or recurrent expenditure that might be expending so much from you? And will your budget be enough for yourself and your family? That's why we are going to be looking at your personal life as a nation in terms of implementing budget. People need to start having that approach.
Exactly.
It's very important.
Exactly. I agree with you. You are not, if you look at yourself as a nation, you also implement your own budget at the beginning of the year. And decide that this is what you want to spend your money on. And this is the major project you want in terms of capital project. Do you want to buy a car? Do you want to buy a land? Do you want to build a house? Do you want to focus on maybe your first degree, your second degree? What is the capital project you're taking on this year? And then you have to plan for them in that regard. Yeah. But, we also live in an age where contentment is no longer a virtue. People no longer care for contentment. People want, before it's cut your coat according to your cloth. Now it's cut your coat according to the cloth you can borrow from other people. People, when your cloth is not enough, you say, please, do you have 1 yard? They give you 1 yard. I will give you back when I have it. That's the era that we live in. And people live beyond their means. We know that, yes, even let's look at the 30,000 naira minimum wage. Yeah. That's not even enough for the person who is earning
one man.
It's not enough for one man. So but the truth is, money is never enough. Yeah. As you move higher in life, your needs, or your wants grow. Yeah, exactly. And then your status also grow. And then so you increase, the kind of things you get. But you have to start from where you are. There is a market for everybody. If you want, for example, the place you go to buy shoes is not where you will buy. It's not where you buy tomato, for example. Yeah. There is a line, markets are broken into segments. So there's a market for everyone. The fact that, somebody is earning, for example, 150,000, I can afford to shop with 50,000 naira. If 50,000 naira is your salary, you can go ahead shopping.
You have to look for your market. It's just that's just the way life works, basically. I mean, we need to understand that we are not in this world for anybody's sake. We're not here to impress anybody. You are in no competition with anybody. But people have that mindset that, if this guy is living up to this standard and is dressing like this, I also have to dress this way. No. As a matter of fact, you should be your standard. Set your standard for yourself. That doesn't mean you won't have aspirations for yourself. I always say people should have aspirations. It's very necessary that you have aspirations. But then when it becomes a challenge is the fact that you go too hard in yourself. I mean, if you look at the recent time, we'll keep seeing people committing suicide. And there's so many factors for that. I mean, we're going to be talking about that. Yeah, a lot of people understand that one of the things that makes you want to, you know, do more than you can handle or bite more than you can chew is because of several pressures coming from different angles. We're talking about peer pressure, we're talking about the social media pressure, even your personal pressure that you inflict upon yourself. So those are the things that we were talking about. Cut your coat according to the materials that you have, according to what you have. That's just the basic philosophy of life. You cannot take what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. That's life. Before we came back to the show, I think I was talking about needs and wants. It was well spelled out in economics. If you read economics, as in the basic economics, you'll understand that needs, human wants are insatiable.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yes, it's insatiable. You cannot satisfy the want. I can see something and I want something. Doesn't necessarily mean that I need that thing I want. You know, I don't necessarily need what I want. That's just the way it works. But, you know, we need to start understanding the concept of want and the concept of need. You need shelter, but you don't. You want a house. You want a house, but you don't need a 50-room mansion.
Exactly.
You want a car, but you don't need a luxurious car. You want a wife. Get one that you can be able to. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we have Victor calling from Shomolu. Good morning, Victor.
Hello.
Yeah,
hello, Victor. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Victor from Shomolu.
Good morning, Victor.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just want to take exception from what you say, Ross. You know, you say, maybe one should not look to another person's standard or something of that sort, you know. But I disagree with you on that regard. Just the fact that I cannot look to the standard of, okay, this guy committed suicide because he's suffering from one depression or the other, and that is kind of standard I want to set for myself. No. I always look to take inspiration from people. Their standard they have set for themselves, I know that it's on a positive way. You understand that? Okay, if this guy can achieve this thing, okay. Okay, let me just tell you the truth about me now. I have a friend of mine that I keep admiring the way he does his things. Very easy. I want to him one day. I say, guy, please, what is the secret? I want to be doing this way. Every year you must have account of what you achieve from January to December. And me, sometimes, honestly, I don't keep anything. All I know is that life goes on and all that. I don't achieve anything until one of my sisters and I say, God, what have you been achieving all this while? You have been like this and I went to my guy and said, how do you do it? He gave me his own, you know, code and all that, and I said, okay, fine. I set that standard, and to tell you this, all the truth, it's been working for me. And even me, I go to people and say, come, what have you achieved? You have been doing this. I keep passing those messages to them. You understand? Some people look up to me. I look up to some people. But it must be in a positive way. You know, but not like I've been trying and it's not working. Okay, this guy is sleeping on that bridge and he's comfortable. Okay, let me go and stay with him on that bridge and be comfortable and happy because I don't have anybody. No. I don't look to those standards. I look to the standard that will take me higher. Anybody, I want to be like one of our richest men in the country. I don't want to call names. You understand now? Those are standards we should be setting for ourselves. You understand? So I just think I want to take a section from what you said earlier. Okay. Not like I'm trying to disagree, but just like to make things correct, my guy. All right, thank you.
All right, Victor, thank you very much for calling. Right. You didn't basically even disagree with us.
No, he didn't. He agreed.
And I like what you said. You actually agreed. You said positively. Victor, you said positively. And then, which is something that we're also saying here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay to have a friend that you look up to in terms of, oh, I want to be like you.
I think I also said that.
Yes, you did. It's okay for you to have someone you look up to. But you cannot say, because I look up to my friend who is earning #1 million, for example, and I want to get to that level,
emulating his lifestyle.
But I can't start buying the things that my friend is buying if I don't have that money.
At the moment.
You build yourself to that level. You had to speak with your friend, which is a good thing. Yeah. How did you get here? So your friend told you, this I got there, and you're working towards that place. But people don't ask those kind of questions. They just see somebody who is living well and then want to emulate that person, start spending all their salaries, you know, they start borrowing just to look like that person. We think that success is about how you look. We forget that there is also the hard work and the hard
trying
work,
time
yes,
that
comes with it. You build up to success. You don't wake up one morning. It's not, you don't dress success. You work towards success and achieve success. So that's what we are trying to say.
Exactly, which is one of the reasons why I said, you know, you don't, when you set a standard for yourself, let's say you have someone who dresses flamboyantly and perhaps earns ₦1 million as his monthly take home, and you have this person as the standard that you set for yourself. And you, on the other hand, you're earning 100,000 naira and you say you want to just level up and do exactly what this person do. No. The point is you have to be able to, try and, you know, look at what this person is doing right. This person has a salary of ₦1 million naira, and therefore he can afford things of 100,000 naira for himself.
Exactly.
And he won't feel anything. But if you say, okay, I want to dress just the way this person does, and out of your 100,000 naira, you want to get something, and I'll still take you back to what I started with when I started. Some people will go to some stores and they will see what the price tag on the goods, on the shoe. That's their monthly take-home salary. Now, will you get that kind of thing?
Some people will.
Some people will. The careless ones will.
Yes, and that's just wrong.
That's why we're talking about the need for financial intelligence. How you need to be financially intelligent, applying the basic principles of spending, so you don't get to shoot yourself in the head with your own gun. That's the thing we're talking about. The need for financial intelligence. Prudence is one of the key words that we need to take cognizance of. People need to be prudent in their spending. Precious said there's a market for everyone. Trust me, if you cannot afford clothes of 20,000 naira, there is a market for 10,000. There is also a market for 5,000. In fact, I think we did a report second-hand clothing.
Yes, we did that.
Yeah, so there's a market for a good market.
I was just going to say
for 1,000 naira.
You can earn 15,000 naira as maybe a sales rep somewhere and walk into a boutique, where they sell clothes for 8,000 naira for one. That's like half of your salary. People are ashamed sometimes, I don't want to go there. There are second-hand clothes that you can buy, wash them and wear them. People won't know that they're second-hand clothes.
I agree with you.
So you have to be financially prudent. And you can't, there's also these societal stereotypes. So you are a man, you're expected to be able to do some things. Society puts some sort of label on you as a man and say, you have to be able to achieve this, you have to be able to do this. Some people carry their family. They are the breadwinner for both their immediate family, which is wife and children. They're also the breadwinner for, the entire, extended family. People come to them, so because they expect you to be able to live up to that standard. For example, we're talking yesterday about just being on television, what that does for you.
The expectation.
The expectation of someone who is on television. I was talking with a friend, and he said, he works with another station here in Lagos, and he said when he goes home, he's from, one of the states in the Middle Belt, that when he goes home, people expect so much from him because they see him on television. So television amounts to millions of naira in their mind. And the people are coming with school fees issue, they're coming, that if he has not been smart, he just got a land. That if he had not been smart, he would have spent all his money in the village trying to impress people that, look, I'm doing what you see me on television, that, he wouldn't be able to achieve what he just started in buying the land and trying to build his own home in Lagos. So we're talking about that. And I said sometimes, there are people who are just like him who go to the village and they see them on television. They want to tell everybody, I'm on television, I'm doing well. And then you spend all your earnings trying to impress people and you come back without any form of achievement for yourself.
And that's the fakest lifestyle. Let's use it that way. There's some fake lifestyle that was imposed not of your will but by the will of the society. And that's as a result of you not being able to set your standard. And you just, when you don't have a standard, definitely all things goes. In a land where there are no rules, there are no offense. I think that's pretty clear. Where there are no rules, there are no offense. And where there are no standards, everything goes. But if you set a standard for yourself and you make up your mind that, yes, this is my salary, this is who I am not going to be living my life based on the way people see me. I'm going to do myself. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me 100%. And I will not let you decide what I buy. The fact that some people see you on TV, it's almost like, oh, because we see this person on TV, this person must definitely have a Lamborghini parked somewhere. This person must definitely have it's more or less like a musician. A musician or a celebrity or a musician, for example, who makes a song and the song, becomes a hit. And then, you know, all of a sudden it gets something of a 10 million naira, for example, and he buys himself a car worth 10 million.
Exactly. That's what most
and now
of them do.
That's where prudence comes, because he drives around and people see him. Where is he staying? He's staying with his friend in his friend's apartment. He doesn't own an apartment. But he's
driving a Range Rover.
He's driving a Range Rover, but he's staying in his friend's apartment. That's not financial intelligence. I mean, financial intelligence is working with what you have in a way that it will become judicious and wise.
I always say this, and I've always said this, and a lot of people are offended by it. I'm sorry if you're going to be offended by it, but I don't know how people drive, except it's a gift, but I don't know how you buy a Range Rover and you still
live with your friend.
And you still live in a rented apartment. Because I know Range Rover, I accept it's a gift. I know people are...
We're talking about the Range Rover. Yeah. That's like millions.
People are usually offended by it when I say it. Like, don't say that you can leave a rent and then you do well, and maybe you're building your house and then you buy a Range Rover. But I don't know how you buy a Range Rover.
And
you know, you're still paying rent. You know, I just don't get it. I just think that Range Rover is the money for a plot of land, and you know, it can get you to
two cars. I'll do it this way. Let's just look at it. For example, the least Range Rover, I think Range Rover Sport that you can get is about 18 or 15 million thereabouts. Yeah. And you know, you can get a good land in Lagos. Maybe in the outskirts of Lagos, but you can get a very good land.
That's like 4 flats.
You can start and complete your apartment. You can get married with it, and you can get yourself a good car and still have savings from it. So the point is, why would you go get something?
You can build a 3-bedroom flat from that.
It still goes back to the concept of want and need.
You have to know that the fact that you need a house, you want an air conditioner. Those are 2 different things. I need a house. I need a shelter over my head, which is a need. I really need a house. That's basic. But an air conditioner is a want. It's a luxury. If you cannot afford it, your house must not be as cool.
Yeah. Well,
you can go with a ceiling fan for now.
Well, as far as there's enough ventilation in the house,
exactly.
you're doing
fine
just fine.
Until you can comfortably, you know, achieve an air conditioner, and you're comfortably affording it when you take the money out of whatever you have. It doesn't affect any other thing. You don't have to go hungry. Some people have bought cars and looking for someone who would help them fuel it. I've seen people like that. Yeah. You buy a car and then you start begging for people how to fuel your car every single day. Please buy me 1,000 naira fuel. Buy me 2,000 naira fuel. And it's not. That money could have started a business that would have generated monies to buy a car, and then you're comfortable because the business is still running and generating income. So it's just about financial intelligence, and especially because of the social media age, we look at celebrities. People are becoming famous for no reason. People are becoming famous just because they dress well, right? And I see people and they say, oh, don't you know him? He's a celebrity. I'm like, I don't know that person. They say, oh, he dresses really well, and that's why he's famous. And so because of that, people are breaking the bank just to look good and look famous, even though they are not famous.
And you know, because you're a celebrity that doesn't really have much, you cannot be seen on a bike.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you saw what I saw, but I did see what I saw, and I know what I saw. So, I mean, the person was basically hiding because you're on a bike and people saw you on a bike. Is there something wrong with being on a motorcycle? I don't understand.
I remember it was Wale Soyinka.
I don't understand.
Professor Wale Soyinka was going for an event, a TV program one time. And then he said there was traffic, so he parked his car and took a bike, and people were taking pictures of him, Wale Soyinka on the bike. And, you know, for him, he was late for the program. So he parked his car and took a bike. And then the anchor asked him, is this the first time you're taking a motorcycle? He said no, that he does it. Now, sometimes he just leaves his car at home, and then he takes a motorcycle because it's convenient for him at that time. It's about convenience. It's not about what people are thinking. Oh, if they see me on a motorcycle, what would they say? It's convenient at that time. It might also be cheaper at that time. You calculate, if I'm taking, if I'm going, so I was telling someone to go by a bus, the person was traveling to Ibadan. I said, go by a bus or go by car. Don't drive. And the person said, no, I would drive. And no, the person was going to charter a vehicle. I said, don't charter a vehicle. It's too expensive. I mean, we're talking about just 2,000, a convenient, comfortable car, 3 people at the back. And then after we talked, the person saw reasons with me because he didn't want to be in a car with other people, and they say, you know, and I said, but you used to have that money. Right now, you don't have it. Things are coming, you know, in place for you, but right now, just take a car with some people. It might not be comfortable for you because of the person that you are, but you have to, this is where you are now. You have to face it and not start borrowing because you want to live up to expectation.
And reality is different from make-believe. I mean, when we have reality is saying you can afford a Mercedes. If reality is telling you that what you can afford is a 500,000 naira car or a 1 million naira car, and in your mind, because you're this, you feel you want to, okay, because your friend is driving a 10 million naira car, and in the circle of your friend, you want to at least feel among. No, you shouldn't subject yourself to, that's what I said, you shouldn't subject yourself to the standards at which some of your friends are living at this point. You can aspire to be like them, or you can aspire to be better than them. It's okay to have aspirations, but where it becomes wrong is when you have denied reality. You fail to acknowledge reality, and you now want to start living a life that you cannot afford. It becomes a problem, basically. And financial prudence. Let's talk about the social media and why it is one of the problems that we have amongst our youth today.
Before we get to social media, because sometimes what is taking money from you might not be the need to impress. Sometimes what is taking, you have leakages and that you don't know that money is going down the drain. Sometimes we just have really bad habits.
Yeah, habits.
Where, yes, really bad habits that takes money away from us. I remember a friend who, while I was still in school, university, she was saying that she had saved over 360-something thousand in a year. What happened was she got a piggy bank, and then she had a bad habit for an addiction, or the bad, well, I don't know. It's an addiction because I just realized I don't want to call it a bad habit. It was an addiction for taking soft drinks, a particular soft drink. And then so she realized that it was taking a lot of money from her. So every time she has the urge to take the soft drink, she would take the amount, it was 100 naira at that time. She would take the 100 naira and put it in the piggy bank. So anytime during the day, if she feels that need again, she would take that 100 naira, put it in the piggy bank. So by the end of the year, she had about 360-something thousand naira thereabout, if not more. And that's how she dealt with the addiction, and she saved money. So you look at the fact that sometimes we have really, really strong addiction and bad habits that take money away from. We don't know how much is taken from us until we sit down and do the calculation. You realize that you might be losing hundreds of thousands of naira in a year just because you have something that is not, it's just a bad habit, just an addiction that you can do away with. And then sometimes, even eating out is another one where, people eat out a lot, and that takes a lot of money from them, and because you don't take your time to, to eat at home.
I'll give you an example. If your wallet is saying, go to a roadside, a standard mama put canteen, so to speak, and your pocket is saying go to
a buka,
and you're insisting you want to go to a big fast food
restaurant. Where
who are we fooling here? We're fooling no other person but ourselves. And that's just about talking about financial intelligence. If your pocket is telling you this is what you can afford and you still have change left, why don't you just do it and just don't level up to it? You see a friend or a colleague eating something, I like to give you something that is very interesting. You see a colleague eating fried rice, chicken, mixed with salad, and some moi moi and everything. We have chips and on the side
and
we
that's
have
like over
2,000
naira,
and
3,000 naira.
And that costs about 5,000 naira, so to speak. And you want to get that. I'm pretty sure we have so many canteens around there that we have
same fried rice and chicken,
and you get it at a considerable price. That's the thing. Financial intelligence, doing what is best for you and not necessarily what you want. There's a difference between need and want. I think we should establish that. People need to know that you don't necessarily need what you want. You don't necessarily need what you want. You can want something. It doesn't mean you need that thing. So there's a difference between your need and your want. Human wants are numerous. It is insatiable.
Exactly.
It can change at any time. You can need a bottle of this, and then the next 5 minutes you're wanting something, but it doesn't. What you need is something that will satisfy your thirst. Why don't you just take something that you know you can afford, but not necessarily what your heart wants? The heart is too big. I'll tell you, the space of the mind is limitless. The mind can think so many things. Precious, if I tell you something now, let's say I open a box, I put a box and it's very transparent, and I put a snake in the box, right? And you saw that snake, and then I blindfold you with a cloth, and I remove that snake from that box. And I ask you, Precious, this is what you should do. Put your hand in that box, and I'll give you 10 million naira. Would you do it? Because your mind have already established it. So the mind is limitless. There's so many things the mind can think about. The mind thinks about so many. The mind can travel from Nigeria down to London in a matter of seconds. That's how vast the mind is. So it means your mind can come up with different wants. But what your mind wants doesn't mean you need that thing at that particular point. Now I'm sounding like a philosopher.
All right. The thing is just be financially smart. Do not put pressure on yourself. Do not let society put pressure on you. Do not let friends put pressure on you to be a certain way. Like Victor said when he called earlier, it's important to look up to people. But if you cannot be like them at the moment, ask them, how did you get there? Learn from them, especially those who are doing the right thing.
We have a call from Olukoju from Palm Grove. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to SUPERDAWN.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I like your program this morning.
Thank you.
And I want you people to make that cassette, make it like just a cassette to play for people sometimes. So people will understand what you are saying. Some people did not see it now. But if you can make it or you repeat it, so people can know what you are saying. I appreciate it.
Thank you very, very much for calling in. Thank you so much. Lukajo is asking us to repeat it maybe later in the day, just so those who did not watch it now can watch it later. We'll look into that. And
you can also, I think it's going to be on YouTube.
It's also going to be on YouTube.
So
the link to our YouTube, you can go to our YouTube, Super Screen
Live TV,
and you can watch over and over again. But, you know, I was saying that be financially smart. Always do a budget every day, and it's not wise to go. It's not wise to go out and not have a budget.
Well,
you should decide that this is how much I want to spend today, and if this is what I want to spend it on. I will know that miscellaneous will always come, but you should decide that this is how much
you should make room for miscellaneous. Yeah, you should.
This, you can say, okay, my miscellaneous should not be more than maybe 500. I'm just saying, it depends. So you decide those things. You know how much it takes. Sometimes, because when we have a lot of money in our wallet, we're bound to spend it. I've realized that.
It's a fact.
When you have enough of money in your hand,
personal
wallet,
examples,
yes,
right?
you're bound to spend it.
So much.
You realize that, oh, that shirt is really fine. I want it because there is money at hand.
You want it. Thank you for saying you want it.
That shoe is really fine. I want it. So you really need to not carry a bulk of money when you're leaving the house. Take what you need, and if any need arises, you have your ATM. You know, you can do that.
Exactly. That's when needs arise.
When a need arises, but you really, really need to not carry a lot of money when you're leaving the house, because you are bound to spend it. Sometimes you have 10,000, for example, for people who put money, they say, okay, this is the money for the week, and you take it out of the house. Sometimes it becomes money for 2 days or even 1 day. Even 1 day, just because you have it, you see things that you like.
I agree with you.
Just take what you need for the day, and then make room for miscellaneous.
Exactly. This is a simple example. This is something that works, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have applied this and it's been working for them. You have a weekly budget for yourself. When you have a weekly budget, so the weekly budget should be a summary of your daily budget. Just like your weekly budget should be a summary of your monthly budget, and your monthly budget a summary of your yearly budget. So if you have, for example, 10,000 naira for your week, and you feel, okay, I'm going to be spending for 5 working days of a week, 2,000 naira will be okay for me on a daily basis, or for example, 20,000, and you feel 5,000 is okay for each day, depending on your, your considerations. I know a lot of people have not thought about this, but what you can do for yourself is think about how much you spend on a daily basis. It's very essential. If you haven't started that, start it now. Think about how much you spend on a daily basis. Take cognizance. If you're going out, how much do you spend for commercial buses? If you spend 500 naira or 700 to your office, take note of that and make room for 100 naira difference, because we know that the prices of bus can just skyrocket at times. So make room for 100 naira miscellaneous. So if you're going to spend 700 naira for going to your office and you're spending 700 naira for coming, that amounts to 1,400. And that means you're making 200 naira miscellaneous, which might not necessarily come at all times. So that means you have 1,600 naira for your transport fare. And you are the type that loves to eat around in fast foods. I mean, you can cut down your expenses that way. Look for somewhere around where you can get the same quality of perhaps a better quality. I believe that we have better food in
of course,
the canteen. Trust me, the buka. Mama
they're usually nice. And
very nice.
But one thing you can also do for yourself is to create room for indulgence. Within the week, you can decide that, okay, just to indulge myself, maybe buy myself ice cream because you deserve it.
We have Ayo.
Okay, you're calling from Maryland. Good morning, Ayo.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Ayo.
Really, I listened to your discussion this morning very well, but...
Ayo, you there? Oh, I think we lost that call. Please call us back. I would love to get your
call us back. You still have about 3-4 minutes. Please do call us back. We'd like to hear from you. You can create room for indulgence. Yeah. Life is not, you know, straight jacketed. You can be flexible. Decide that, okay, even if I spend, once you do your daily calculations and weekly budgets, decide that, okay, this week.
On a Friday,
let me take myself out. You know, let me go see a movie, or let me just buy myself ice cream. It's allowed, you've earned it. So you can also add that to the budget. So it doesn't look like all you do is, you know.
All you do is play, all work
and no play. So, so that that also satisfies you and reduces the need to indulge during the week.
And it also reduces the stress level.
Exactly. So if you know that you're going to get it over the weekend, it reduces the temptation during the week. So schedule relaxation and leisure for a particular time of the week, and then put the amount there. Tell yourself, okay, I'm only going to spend 2,000 naira for my leisure, and I'm going to go to so-and-so place to see a movie, or I'm going to buy ice cream, I'm going to just
you want to look for a place where you get catfish pepper soup.
I know you like, I know that.
Olamide,
my style. Olamide, that's you.
Won't go to the pot.
So basically, that's what you do to keep yourself financially smart. You don't have to break the bank to impress anyone. And then also plug leakages. A lot of people don't know they have leakages in their finances. You might want to check it. For those of you who do a lot of cabs, you know, some people take a lot of cab from one place to another. Yeah. You might also want to check it. We have Joshua calling from Abulegba. Good morning, Joshua.
Hello,
Joshua, good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning. Welcome, Joshua.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Joshua. Please go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, please do. Go ahead.
We can. Go ahead.
All right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Such a nice program people are doing out there. Such a nice job.
Thank you.
I'd like to appreciate what the people are doing this morning in order for public to know how they spend and they save their income also too. So I do appreciate that. But there's one question I'd like to ask. You know, in this our society today now, this betting sports company, you do pay a lot of money for weak guys. Average on Nigeria plays the lottery. So in that case, is there any way a person can take to minimize such expenses also? Because many Nigerians are addicted to that already. Everywhere you go, see a lot of sport belts companies around. So most people are complaining. Sometimes they lose much than what they give. Yeah. So how do you explain in terms of economizing such situation? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Those are the leakages we're talking about. And betting might also be one of your leakages. You might want to stop it. Sometimes if you put those monies together, you can start a business of your own. Some people spend as much as 1,000 naira on betting in a day. So imagine if you spend, and they do it every day. So you might have spent 30,000 naira in a month. And if you put that money together, you might be able to start a business, even a recharge card business in front of your house on your own.
Yeah, I agree with you. You said something that is very valuable. I mean, we know that there are private cabs these days, private taxis, coming in different names. Well, if you're the type that loves to use private taxis to your destination, and you know that your salary is saying boss, please consider boss. Be a wise man and consider boss.
Just leave your house early.
Just leave early, and you know, Kunle, I think Kunle will be our last call.
We're taking Kunle.
Let's take Kunle.
Hello.
Good morning.
I'm glad to make it. I just want to commend you and appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You know, I celebrate you. These are the fruits that we need in this generation. Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Kunle. Thank you to everyone who has called in on this segment. We'll just leave you with a last word, which is be financially prudent. Do not try to impress anybody. Nobody, the people you're trying to impress are too busy with their own lives. Actually, everybody has challenges, and they can't see you. That's the truth. People have challenges that they are focusing on, so don't try to impress anybody. You don't have a competition. Focus on that which you want to achieve and keep your finances together. You don't want to go through life in debt. Except you're borrowing money to do a business that you can pay back. There is no reason to borrow money.
I totally agree with Precious, and I know that it's very important that we stay prudent. Remember,